back. Hello, family of light. Welcome to the fifth dimension. How are all of you starseeds and light workers out there in the matrix? How's everyone doing? Well, it's Monday evening in the matrix and it's November 28th. I haven't been here since Wednesday before Thanksgiving and I took off Friday. Sorry about that. I just need a little bit of vacation for myself. So, what's going on? How was your day today? It's Monday night, and we have the whole Matrix work week ahead of us. How's everyone doing in that Matrix? Well, you know what I'm noticing? There's a lot of change going on. Are you sensing that? It's getting exciting. As they say, get your popcorn out. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So I'm Mary and this is Living in the Light, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential and cracking open the beautiful glowing light in your heart. It's all about getting to the light. That's what we're doing. We're ascending. We've awakened. So today we're going to cover topics like reptilians, leaders are actors, memories return plugged into light. Of course, I'll touch on psychic phenomenon. Hi, Deanna. Yay, you're joining us at night from Michigan. Thank you. And we're going to, of course, mention angels. So now, how were your dreams last night? Did you write them down? Have you been having any light codes come through, as you're awakening, as you're waking up from your sleep or you're going to sleep? I feel as though the last few days especially, I feel as though my legs are vibrating, my limbs are vibrating, my arms, my legs, and I feel as though more light is coming into my system. More of me is activating my DNA. Is that happening for you? It's hard to describe if you haven't experienced it, but those of you out there that have just awakened, you've woken out of your slumber and you've said, this reality is not so much fun and I want to get out of here. And you've ran out of the matrix or you've climbed out of it. You've looked over the fence and you've said, what's on the other side? It's just a belief system. We're not really traveling anywhere else. It's going to look entirely different on New Earth because all of these structures are collapsing and they're crumbling. They're going into the dumpster, and what's going to be there? Well, we're going to plant seeds, and there's going to be gardens, and there's going to be new earth. It's going to be about the elements of nature. Ears are ringing, yes, and I've been having that too. I don't know if any of you out there are having these ascension symptoms like Deanna and I are referring to. We're speaking of possibly your ears are ringing. I get this ear actually feels as though I'm in another realm. It's like when you pick up a shell off the beach and you listen to it, it sounds like a little bit of an echo. Well, that's what I hear out of this ear. I hear as though there's other frequencies, other vibrations. It's another location. And then this ear, I hear it's ringing. And so what does it sound like when you take an ear test at the doctors? And it sounds something like that. And there's different pitches to it. I know if you haven't awakened, you're not going to really understand what I'm referring to, but just bear with me because guess what? In time, it's going to happen to you as well. And so it's going to be pretty exciting. And we are the first time arrivals, aren't we, Deanna? We've landed here in this timeline first. We're one or the few of the 144, and we're here to welcome you to the fifth dimension. We know it's going to be difficult at first. It's a little confusing. You might feel lost. You might feel very vulnerable because you're not really going to understand what's going on. And either you've awakened because you've looked at what's going on out there in the physical reality, in the linear world, and the illusion, and you said, "Oh, what is that? That's not what I bought and paid for. I don't like that." And then you start to question. You start to say, "Well, that's not fair. And that's not what I thought it was." And they weren't giving me all the information. And so you begin to realize that there must be something else. We've heard about heaven probably our entire lives. And really, earth is supposed to be like heaven, heaven on earth, as they say, peace on earth. But as we're going to get into, these reptilians, from what I understand, now I have some snapshots of these reptilians. Here's a look at one of them. Now, do they look exactly like this? Well, I have to tell you, every single one of these reptilians and every single one of these extraterrestrials are just like us in that they look different, but similar features. Okay? And so there's the end. So I'm trying to get rid of that. For example, these are probably taken from some kind of sci-fi. We were told that sci-fi is sci-fi, but it's really reality. And the reptilians were here long before any of us. And as well as the draconians. But I don't really have that much information about draconians. And so they are shape-shifting extraterrestrials. And we can't really imagine or really believe that we're the only living species in the whole galaxy, in the whole universe. Come on. Seriously? Do you have that big an ego? I don't think so. The truth of the matter is there's what's called reptilians. So these reptilians are shapeshifters. They're extraterrestrial humanoids with one objective: to enslave humanity. The human race, exactly. And so they are those that are committing all of these heinous acts, and they have taken over the bodies of some. And you know what? I believe that they have a connection to Satan, Lucifer, the devil, as you want to say. And all these dark forces have come together, and they've decided to harm us and use us. And they've used us for our energy. They've used us for our DNA. And they are blood-drinking, flesh-eating child snatchers. So are our leaders reptilians? I don't know. I question that because I really I can't imagine in my heart of hearts that those are humans out there that are causing so much distress in our communities, in our world, on the globe. Those possibly cannot be humans. Maybe they're possessed. Maybe they're reptilian shapeshifters. I don't want to believe that another human would want to harm us. I don't believe that. Are they Oscar-winning actors? Are they entertainers? Are they business executives? Are they CEOs? Are they the British family? Are those reptilians? We had heard that Queen Elizabeth had made a deal and she had sold herself off, and she was shape-shifted and a reptilian was basically in her body. Is that possible? I don't know. Share in the chat what you think. I know I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm really a truth seeker because I love mysteries. Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of someone called David Icke. He's British. And he wrote this book way back when. And that's why he was basically thrown off all social media. Twitter, I believe, Facebook. None of them wanted any part of him. Because why? Because maybe what he was saying might be the truth. Well, David Icke wrote a book, and it was called, or is called, The Biggest Secret. You might want to get it. It's available on Amazon. And it's about interconnecting the bloodlines that have controlled the planet for thousands of years. And that's not it. And created all the religions and suppressed the spiritual and esoteric knowledge that will set humanity free from mental and emotional prison. Are you with me still? Or did I lose you when I said reptilians? Maybe. But you know what? Just listen, because you know what? It might be an eye-opening experience. So are lizard people, like, for example, the dead Queen Elizabeth, are they Henry Kissinger, Hillary Clinton, the secret societies, the Freemasons, the Illuminatis, the Black royalty. I'm going to say some of these words really quietly because I don't want to get bad. And Bill Gates, I'll say his name loud. Bill Gates, is he a reptilian? That must be the excuse of why he's so mean. All right. So they have resembling characteristics of reptiles. They're despicable and treacherous. And so here's a quote. They will not become a reptilian unless a reptilian entity inhabits their physical body. Is that possible? What do you think? Have they shape-shifted? And so they start out looking like this, and then we think they're human? Is that a possibility? What do you think? Write in the chat. History says 1,000 years of the reptilians beings from Orion, you know I can't pronounce things, Sirius, and Draco intervene on planet Earth and began interbreeding with humans. There's some signs, some similar characteristics in reptilians. Green or hazel eyes, but their eye color changes and sometimes to blue. Unexplained scars, piercing eyes, and low blood pressure. Well, that kind of makes sense if they're reptilian. Wouldn't they have low blood pressure? And maybe they would be cold-blooded. So I just begin to wonder, and I wanted to bring this up. But, I can't just have the dark stuff. I have to share some of the positive stuff, which is out there in the galaxies. Are there little guys like this, gray aliens as well? And have you had any communications? Have you received any communications? Arcturians. I have some different visuals here. Here's a bunch of different, if you could see that, some other species of aliens. Now, are we going to be encountering these aliens? Are we going to have what's called first contact, which is where the extraterrestrials reach out to us? Have they already reached out to us? Now, I know that in the past, I've shared different theories, my theories. For example, Project Bluebeam, where they say we're going to have some kind of invasion by evil aliens. That's a made-up thing. That's going to be holograms, and that's by the government. That's one of their black projects. Or is it one of these situations where the aliens have already actually come down here, and it was a crash like Roswell, and then we used their spaceship and debris, and we had reverse alien technology, and that's how we have some of these crafts in the secret space program that can travel at very fast velocity and speeds, and they have the ability to turn all different angles. There's a lot of possibilities out there, aren't there? But what I'm trying to say is, have we already made first contact with some kind of extraterrestrial? So I'll share some more types here. I have a lot of different photographs. I have a lot of visuals because this is basically a special edition about extraterrestrials, because you know why? We have to be informed. There's a lot that's about to happen here, and there's disclosure coming. Have you sensed that there's disclosure? Here's all these different alien types, extraterrestrials, shapes and sizes. Do you know what these are? These are Palladians, and they're starseeds, and they have Scandinavian look, a look about them. They have the very fair skin. They have the blonde hair, and they have blue eyes, and they're very emotional, and they're here basically to protect humanity from evil. And let's see, what is this? These are, I think, also considered Palladians. They're Nordic aliens. And they're 6 to 7 feet tall. So that's what they look like. They might be considered giants. You know, they say in Tartaria there were giants. George Adikoski claims to have had contact in the 1950s. He said that they're telepathic, they're benevolent, so they just speak mind to mind, which is what we uncover here daily. We speak of our psychic phenomenon. We have many abilities. And these Nordic aliens are concerned with world peace. Well, I like these. I bet they join us in the light. And so I'm just going to show a few more, and then we're going to move on to leaders are actors. And these are different extraterrestrials, aren't they? So we can see quite a few different kinds. This is, I think, Andromedans, I want to say. I have another photo of them. Andromedans right here. And Andromedans, do you sense that you're part of the Andromedan starseed family? If you're a light worker or a starseed, you came from another star system. And you're here to help the masses and save humanity. And they guide and protect. They have a lifespan of 4,000 years. The Andromedans are light beings with advanced spirituality. What I'm sensing here is that we are capable of so much more than we realize. We are highly advanced ourselves. And if we pay attention, we will be able to predict events and have an understanding more about what's going on within us as our DNA becomes more and more activated. Now, did you have any kind of, I mentioned earlier, any light codes this weekend? I received many light codes. Saturday evening, I had dreams. I had one dream that actually woke me up, and it was kind of scary. And my face changed, and then there was cages. I don't know what that was all about. But I did receive many light codes. So light codes come through as sounds or tones or sensations or some kind of mental image before you. Have you had any of those occurrences as of yet? And the light codes are basically bringing forward what's already inside of us. And they had told us for a long time that our DNA was only 2% valuable and 98% junk. But the truth of the matter is, God wouldn't create our DNA with only 2% worth anything. All of us is worth something. And so we were actually tricked. Hey, Angie, thanks for joining us. Angie's coming from Georgia. She's a beautiful Georgia peach. She's just beautiful, and she is a chef and a cook, and she has her own YouTube channel. You can find her, Angie Tillman. Sending love to Angie. Angie, we're here today on this Monday. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. We'll have to chat later. And I want to hear all about your Thanksgiving meal, because I know you were speaking of making all these kinds of desserts to have people over and entertain. I want to hear what you made. So are our leaders actors? Well, there's a couple of things that we have to remind ourselves of. Anyone who spends time in front of the camera, or anytime anyone spends time speaking to massive groups of people, they probably have some communication skills under their belt, and they probably have the ability to speak in front of a camera, and they have the ability to handle a teleprompter. I would have to say that I believe that our leaders are actors. And when that makes sense, they're put in a position just like newscasters, and we see these actors on television. They're there for entertainment. The television is for entertainment. It's not to be taken seriously because they're reading from a teleprompter or they have a script. Have you ever auditioned for something? Have you ever done a production, a play, some kind of theater in school? Maybe you knew this. Hey, music or clones. Thank you, music, for sharing. You're absolutely correct. Music is coming from, wait, let me find it. Canada. So we have Canada. We have Deanna from Michigan, and we have Angie from Georgia, and I'm in New York, and we're all awakened. We are all the awakened. Yes, clones and CGs too, right? CGI. I hope anyone who's joining us likes the video and subscribes to the channel. Well, those out there that have this status, they're in a high position, high standing, they have prestige, they're all dressed up, they're looking great, they're wearing very fancy clothes. They have high social standing and they're ranked, they have a reputation. Our leaders are those who lead us. They command a group, an organization, or a country. And they have influence over us, these leaders. And the leaders I'm referring to are those in these positions of power. And they most definitely have wealth because they've accumulated that wealth being a leader. You know, they are serving their constituents, they're serving the public, they're there to take care of us, they're wrapping their arms around us to protect us. Aren't they? Isn't that what a leader's supposed to do? They're supposed to help us and make sure we're okay. And they're supposed to inspire, and they're supposed to have passion and influence and drive and power. They have power. It's an awful lot of power for one person. So I don't know. I really sense that the leaders must be actors, because how do they know how to do all of that in front of the camera? And they just seem to be just given, here's a piece of paper and read it, or read this. Someone else is always doing everything for them. They basically have someone helping them put their clothes on, right? Does someone help put your clothes on? No one's helping me. So they're actors. So an actor is a person whose profession is acting on the stage or television, or they take a part. So think of it this way. A leader is putting on a show. They speak of these setups. We see these setups that maybe have to do with, through the military, a psyop, or they create some kind of illusion, some kind of little video and film for us, because we're not there. And I always say, if I can't see it in front of me, I don't believe it's real. I have to see it in front of me, because how do I know? I grew up auditioning. I grew up on sets. I grew up getting my photo taken. I know all the behind the scenes stuff. It's all valuable, but I really sense that these leaders are actors. And so share with me what you believe. And I'm kind of focusing on this today because I'm realizing that so much is falling apart out there in the matrix. So much is coming unglued. And I'm hearing a whole combination. I'm hearing, all this AI, all this technology, all of this robots, and Elon Musk and Twitter, and these advertisements that are out there that are very satanic that have come out. And then there are those out there who have been representing that brand, and they're kind of giving their opinion about how it's not so bad, or it was just all these explanations. It just seems like a bunch of hogwash to me. And I've brought that word up before, hogwash, but a lot of it's hogwash, because you can't put things out there on your social media, and you can't make an advertisement and go through all of the work of hiring the people, putting the shoot together, having it go through editing. There's a creative director, blah, 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 blah. There's all these steps. And then you post it, and then you say, well, we didn't mean to, or this is what we meant. You meant exactly that. And you're trying to check out and see how many of us are going to go along with it. How many of us are going to be okay with your evil doings? Well, guess what is out there? There's a lot of moms out there. And you know what? How they're going to protect their children? They'd lose a limb for one of their kids. They'd lose an eyeball. You're not messing with people's kids. So these companies, these organizations, these CEOs, what they've done now is they've pushed it so far because they know we've awakened. They're aware of it. And the more they push, the more they awaken us. And when I say awaken, you're saying, heck no, I'm not going along with this anymore. And this is not a fun world to live in. This seems like hell right now. And you're wearing some really creepy clothes and bizarre outfits, and you look like a clown. So go back out from wherever you came from. If you climbed out from a rock or you came out of a hole, you got to go home. Go wherever you came from. We don't want you here. This is new earth now. This is going to be a beautiful place. We're planting seeds. The matrix is crumbling, and out is coming humans, organic humans, and they're becoming activated, all their DNA. And it's going to be a spiritual world. It's not going to be artificial or man-made. That's going to be gone. So all of you, take off. Goodbye. We don't want any more evil here anymore. Right? Because the memories are returning, and it's really exciting. Has your memory returned? Mine's beginning to return every day. You can see I'm more and more open. I'm willing to express myself and say exactly what's on my mind, because I am here to protect humanity. And I'm here to tell you that you're worthy, you are loved. So let's begin to forgive each other. Let's tune into our hearts, and let's remind ourselves of the invisible line surrounding us. Imagine an invisible line surrounding you 12 inches from your body. And no one's allowed to come into your space unless you give permission. And that's how it goes, really. If you give your permission to evil, they can possess you, they can own you. If you stay in low vibrational thoughts, words, and actions and energies, evil can touch you. They can send you negative thoughts. We must rise above all of this, connect to your heart, connect to your root chakra, and rise up. You have personal power that's within you. Do you know how highly advanced you are? You are a being of light. You are lovable. You are worthy. You are capable of so much more. That's why we are practicing our telepathic skills, our psychic phenomenon. We're tuning into all of our clairsenses. And for myself, the more I practice, I'm receiving more energy and I'm receiving more impressions. And I have been having so many impressions that I'm receiving hearing wise from another source. Have you? Now, we've been asleep, and I've been asleep too, and I've woken up, and now it's time for you to wake up. And we're waking up to light. We've been asleep. So we're beginning to remember from our past. We have a recollection. It's echoing. We're starting to hear. It's coming through from other sources. And we are awakening within ourselves. Our memories are coming back online. We're starting to discover exactly who we are. Now, when we were little children, when we were little tiny children, we came out into this world. We were exactly who we were supposed to be then. We were very full of life, and we had energy, and we were excited, and everything looked beautiful to us, and we could see so much. And then we were shut down. We were told to be quiet and go stand over there and get in line. And we were taught all of this programming. And this programming were these unconscious belief systems and attachments that were funneled into us. And that's why I always say this big sack of attachments, because can you imagine how many things were shoved into your system that weren't yours? Because you had the answers within you, and you always have. And that's why I say when you're waking up from a slumber and you're becoming awakened, you're remembering. You're remembering. And so you have this power within you. You can ask for it. You can say, please activate. I say activating your third eye, which is your third eye chakra. Maybe you put a little amethyst stone here, or you visualize light hitting your third eye, or you practice with us your telepathic skill set, your clairsenses. And you will awaken, and every day you'll awaken a little bit more. Now, I know it's struggle. It's struggle because there's so many out there that aren't. And they make you feel like as though you're a little, woo, well, she's a little crazy, isn't she? What is she talking about even? What is she talking about? It's another language, basically, they think that I'm speaking sometimes. I have family members that say that. And they don't say it in a mean way. They just say it like, oh yeah, she's a little kooky. I mean, I think that I'm more aware. And I've always been more aware, and maybe you're more aware too. So you're going to come back to the person that you originally were. You're reverting back to this person you were, and it's going to be lovely. You're raising your vibration because you're going to love more, compassion, forgiveness, hope, and you're going to become more serene inside you. Things aren't going to aggravate you as much. You're going to breathe a lot more. And you're going to carry yourself to the light. And when you get to the light and your third eye is activated, you're going to see in your third eye that everything out here in this physical reality is really light. Now, it hasn't come into fruition yet. It takes moments before we can see it physically, but it's there because I see the light. And in the light are going to be the ascended masters for you, angelic forms, those who have passed. Yes, there's a lot of puppets out there. You're absolutely correct. Yes, there is. And so we've had this amnesia. We've forgotten our past. And now we're remembering. And we're going to make new memories. We're going to reconnect, okay, with the light that we had as children. We had all the light. It was all out there. And then we basically closed it up. We covered ourselves. You know, as I say, when you go out into the public out there, you go out into the community, and if you're around a group of people and all of a sudden you feel something hit your head where you get a headache or you get pain or you start to feel very dulled and very, you've lost your energy, I suggest you do this. Cover your heart. Cover your heart because something's interfered with you and your heart chakra, and you want to cover your heart. And at first, it's going to feel as though you're the only one out there that has remembered. You're the only one out there that has plugged into the light that's coming from a place of love. And you can see so many that are just following each other, and they don't realize that they're harming themselves because that's not even their destiny. You must remind yourself of your destiny. And where are you headed? Where would you like to go? Would you like to climb the highest mountain? Would you like to write a novel? What is it you would like to do? Travel? That's what you must focus on. And that's how we're going to create this new reality, this new Earth Gaia. Now, our brain has encoding. So the brain receives new information and creates a series of connections to represent that information. There's storage, previously formed connections, retrieval. The brain recreates, and activates the connections that represent previously encoded information. So you have encoded information inside of you that has been dormant, and now it's being activated. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's my commercial. So we are waking up from the dark world. We drank the poison. We've been drinking the poison. Our minds have been poisoned up until now with these, if you want to say, reptilians, belief systems, basically those out there that are trying to do us harm or own us or have power over us or dominate us. And we were following everything because we were following the leaders, and we were in this mode of keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, got to keep up, keep up. We're always running. We're running to the next goal, running to the next task, running to the next day. All of a sudden, time's up. Got to go to sleep. Next, do it tomorrow. We never could catch up. And that was intentional. We were supposed to keep running, so we weren't paying attention because we were distracted over here from what's going on over there. And all of these leaders and all of these evildoers have been doing naughty stuff over there. And so now it's time for us to wake up. So there are drastic changes ahead. And those who looked to the potential, with high rewards, are doomed. Those out there that were all about service to self, it's all about what I've got, because I've got the most expensive pen, and this is the most expensive scarf, and I have all my stuff. All of those out there who are completely focused on their stuff, materialism, stepping on people's heads, knocking people out of the way to get whatever they want, they're doomed. And you know why they're doomed? Because it's going to take them a very, very long time to figure this out. And so they're going to be in the back of the line. They're going to be way, way in the back of the line if they choose to leave the matrix. Now, I don't know where the matrix is going, because they can have their energies harvested by the evil, and that's entirely up to them. The service to self, 95% of your thoughts and your actions are all about taking care of yourself. That's your ego. That's about stuff. Now, what's in here, what's in this human body, in the vessel, the heart, the spirit, that's valuable. That's organic. That's natural, not man-made. That's natural. That's where everything's worth something and valuable. And those out there who are taking care of others, and 50% of their thoughts and actions are service to others, are in the front of the line. You're in the front of the line because you've awakened and you've realized there's another reality. So those that have been focused on getting stuff and not caring about human life and doing evil stuff to get wealth, maybe they're leaders, maybe they're celebrities, maybe they're political individuals, royalty, those guys are done. Hey, Joe Hollywood, he's on at the 7 o'clock show. Hello. Hi, Joe Hollywood. We were just covering today reptilians. I know you would have enjoyed that, Joe Hollywood. You have to recap this. And I spoke of these shape-shifting extraterrestrials, and their objective is to enslave the human race. And they've been here enslaving the human race, but no longer, because all of these energies are coming onto the earth, and more of us are awakening. And it's just a matter of time before the solar flash happens. And we covered leaders are actors, because they have the whole thing figured out. They have the very fancy outfit on, and they're reading from something, and someone's handing them a script, and everyone's dressing them, and they're making lots of money. You know, when I think of a leader, I think of someone who's basically wearing tattered clothes, and they have sweat on their brow, and they can barely keep up because they have so much they have to do to take care of everyone, like a parent with children, right? That's what a leader should be. They shouldn't be all dapper looking all the time. How are they so dapper? How are they leading anything? Imagine everything you have to read every day if you're a leader. Are they reading it? I don't know. Makes me wonder. Anyway, Joe, I was just recapping, and we spoke about memories returning. So our memories have returned. And that's why we're here and living in the light. And we're here to support each other. That's what this community is. We're here to tell each other that we're okay. And I'm going to be, strong here and very permanent, I guess. Permanently, I'm doing this to protect everyone, to guide everyone. So let's get into some psychic phenomenon. Before I do that, I just want to mention a couple of things. Light on the horizon and angels. So light on the horizon, I always say, which is good things are coming beyond your vision. If you can catch a sunrise in the morning, or a sunset, maybe that will crack open the beautiful glowing light that's in your heart and remind you and activate something within you. Maybe you'll have a mystical experience. And so when we see light on the horizon, I see this, I have this dream where I'm looking through this rectangular window and there's this beautiful orange and golden sunlight coming up from the horizon and there's water rippling in front. And it's just a reminder that beyond your vision, there's a difficult situation will improve and anything is possible. You know, our thoughts are a vibration. And I want you, and I hope I'm making this suggestion to imagine your thoughts in front of you. Every single thought that comes into your mind matters because with that thought is a feeling and an emotion. Just pick any thought. There's always a feeling and emotion behind each thought. And so if it's a negative thought, like, oh, you know, for example, maybe you say, you're working on something. Oh, I'm not going to get this done in time, or I'm doing a really bad job, or this is going to be a disappointment. You're attaching to that thought basically a low vibrational emotion. You're attaching maybe frustration, negativity, some kind of sadness, disappointment, and then you're putting that out there. So if you do that 10 times, imagine how much energy that is. Imagine you're putting that out into the effect. You know, we say cause and effect. You can create whatever effect you want. You can create the outcome through your thoughts if you're doing something, if you're working on something. Keep that in mind. It's very important. You know, there's a way to bring positivity in your life. And here's some examples. If you're feeling down, have some positive affirmations, just in words, light, nature, trees, stars, happiness. Those are positive words. Say them. You can do this by spending time in nature, going to a body of water. If you have something that's bothering you, speak it out to the water, release it. You can sit down and journal all of your thoughts. You can journal all your thoughts every single morning, not caring about punctuation or grammar, just releasing it. If you have something on your mind, if you sense as though you're going through something and you don't have someone you can speak to, or maybe they're tired of hearing about your stuff, sit down and write it all out. Yes, Joe, exactly. You know what, Joe? It's so funny because I actually pulled up information about sound healing today. And I said, oh, I'm not going to have time. And you're bringing up exactly what I meant. It's like it's meant to be. You say listening to 888 hertz sounds provides to be one to achieve financial success. Yes. Now, music was set at 440. That blocks energy. That was set on purpose. Everything that's been done by leaders, by the government, by the structures was all to control us and to harm us, not to help us. So whatever they're doing, think the opposite. So 432, it brings calming and harmony within you. 432 hertz. Consider that. Now, the standard was established in 1950s and 1975, and they set it at 440. But the heartbeat of our bodies, thought waves, DNA responds to 432. Yay! So we're on the same wavelength, Joe Hollywood. Thanks for joining us tonight because you hit the nail right on the head. So here we go into clear senses. Clear senses. Here's the little chart. Here's a little chart. So you have supernatural abilities. You do. We all have it within us. We are all walking around with these abilities, and they're staying quiet, but we have to wake ourselves up. And maybe that begins with practicing like we practice. Maybe it's about you asking for it to happen for you. There's so much value in this. And it's very valuable because you realize more about yourself. You begin to predict events. You have premonitions. You have visions. You receive information from an outside source. And it's valuable to you. It can guide you in your career. It can guide you in your relationships, your actual self. You can start to realize more and more about yourself and your abilities. Thanks for joining us, anyone who's liking the video and subscribing. 440 hertz allows for an internal space between notes called the devil's interval to be commonplace in today's music. This interval produces dissonance. Yes, 440 is not good for us. And so we have to thank you, music. Music is coming from Canada. Thanks for music. I'm really appreciative of everybody who writes in the chat, because I'm just here and I'm a little spokesperson, but so are you. And, it's good for us to all communicate because we have our own input that is very helpful to others. So here's a little chart. And we have these supernatural abilities, and they're within us. And so we can have mind-to-mind telepathy. And I'm really not saying that it's immediate. You're not immediately, unless you already were naturally working on this, you're not immediately going to have these psychic abilities, because we weren't practicing this since we were children. We literally were shut down. These psychic abilities are within you, and each of us can master minimum one. You can master possibly 3 or more, which means maybe you'll be able to go into a trance and receive information, and you can take on the mannerisms of someone else, and they share information with you. And you can give suggestions and input, and they can tell you information. Maybe you will be a medium, and you can connect to a loved one that has passed, or someone else's family member that's passed, or a friend. And I just would like to share with you, every single medium that I've ever encountered is a blessing for those out there, because we sometimes lose important people in our lives, and we have no way to either say goodbye or speak to them. And it's very healing when you can do this through a medium. So know that. Hey, Angie, yes, I want sound bowls. The right hertz frequencies are healing. Sound bowls are amazing. If anyone watches our everyday lives with Michael De La Rocca, which I watch that every day. Like you, Angie, say you watch me sometimes. I watch him because, and he starts with the sound bowl and the sound bowl. And it's wonderful because it's like it's calming your whole system down. Yes, look into sophago frequencies and how they relate to our chakras. Yes. Oh, you love Michael too. He's amazing. Okay, so our clairsenses, let's get on to that. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mary, and I'm coming live from New York. All right, so clairvoyance, sight, intuitive sight, and you can see spirits, and you can connect to other realms. When you're in your third eye, like I said earlier, when I look in my third eye, like right now I see a lot of light. I see fire. Interesting. Maybe the solar flash is coming quicker than we think. I believe, though, the solar flash is not going to hit for a little bit longer, because more have to become awakened. I don't sense that the solar flash is to awaken everybody. However, However, the more evil that does the naughty stuff, then the quicker the solar flash is coming, because they don't want anyone else harmed, any more harm done. So being a clairvoyant transcends time and space, and you can see in your third eye. So you basically are looking. It's a hard thing to describe, except you have, if you focus, you can see another location. And that's what's going on. You see another location as a clairvoyant. A clairvoyant is basically a generalized term, more or less. There's a lot of abilities attached to being a clairvoyant. Claircognizance, sight, intuitive knowledge. You know about people's past, present, or future. Are you very good at that? It's called clear knowing. You know something without reading or hearing about it. Now, all these clear senses are about engaging with your sense of hearing, your sight, your smell, your taste, your touch, your feeling. And that's how you're receiving energies. That's how you're receiving impressions, which come through maybe as a mental picture. Maybe it comes through as a sound, a tone. Maybe you see something visual. You might hear a voice. I hear a lot of voices lately. The solar sunlight big time cleanse. Yes. When the solar flash hits the earth, I believe I've been kind of naive about it, and I haven't really taken it to as far as it could go, which might be that everything completely evil is just going to be flattened. And anything that is artificial, flattened. And, or disintegrate. And it's almost as though it's a way to determine what is real and what isn't real. What's artificial. And that might be what the solar flash is going to do. All of you out there who've stayed organic and natural and are having discernment, kudos for you. I'm rallying for you. You're doing fantastic. Okay, a little bit more, and then we're going to do some exercises, because we're going to hit the hour mark, right? We're going to hit hour. It's going to be 8 o'clock in New York. I know I'm going to lose some people. So what are your impressions that you're receiving on a daily basis when you're practicing your clear senses? What do you tend to receive? Now, this is all personal. You're all going to have personal experiences. Mine's going to be different than yours. And then after a while, after some time goes by, and you've been doing this for more than 2 or 3 exercises, you're going to realize there's definitely some kind of formula to how you can connect to another realm or another source. There's definitely patterns to what happens to you. In other words, I hear sounds. I hear sounds, and I hear different voices. Now, when I hear the voices, maybe it's a male, maybe it's a female, maybe it's all these different. Every single time, it's a different voice. It's not usually sentence. It's not usually more than a few words. It's usually one sentence. That's the pattern that I receive, at least right now. I'm not hearing a page of dialogue from someone. I'm just hearing, it's almost like an alert, and sometimes I even hear them say Mary. Now, and that's my patterns. What I'm trying to share with you is you're going to have your own pattern. There's not going to be any proof. You're going to have to accept this. Take away any doubt. The more that you accept that you're a clairvoyant, that you're a medium, that you're whatever it is that's coming through for you, then the more will happen. And it gets exciting. Michael K. Some of us have the sensitivity of a rock. I'm good with esoteric knowledge, not so much with intuitive stuff. You just have to practice, Michael K. Michael K., have you been here before? I want to say I've seen Michael K. Have you been here before? I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. And how did you find me if you're new? Maybe I just didn't write down who you are. No, you're not new, or you are new. Are you new? Michael K, are you new to living in the light? Are you new? So maybe you're just not writing here before. Anyway, listen, everyone is capable of. I've talked to you on Twitter. Oh, hi. Oh, wait, is this Michael ascending? Is this ascending? You're ascending, right? Michael ascending. Hi, Michael. You can share where you're coming from. Okay, we all have these abilities. Hi, thanks for joining us. You retweet what I tweet. Thank you. Now you know who I am, person to person, mind to mind. Okay, so clear presence, you sense the presence of spirits. So let's get into some clear exercises right now. Let's practice our intuitive ability. Now, we know there's some steps, and we're going to go through them, and then we're just going to keep doing the exercises. Okay, here's the step. Here are the steps. First step is you're going to say, none of my thoughts are going to come down into my senses. I'm going to send them back up, because this is not about thinking. This is not about critical reasoning. This is not about being practical, or I'm an idealist. This is purely about your senses. So what information is coming through? Now, if you're a small child, this would probably be easy. When in the future, I'm sure there's going to be telepathy school. And for now, this is telepathy school. And children will come out, and they'll be sent, instead of to nursery school, they'll be sent to telepathy school. Because in the Akashic records and within ourselves, we have all the answers. Okay, so first of all, we're going to let out a breath. We're going to relax our bodies. We're going to take away any doubt. We're going to have focus and concentration. Now, if you want to keep your eyes open, you may. If you want to keep them closed, whatever works for you. And we're basically, you want to tense and release your body if you feel as though you have stress. I mean, after a day, you might have stress. And you're just going to let go and just relax. And then you're going to drop down into your senses. You're going to make physical contact with your senses. You're going to surrender to your senses. So any thoughts, you're going to send them back up. Here we go. Relax. Let out a breath. You're going to tune into your hearing. Remind yourself of your hearing. What are you hearing in whatever room or space that you're in this moment? For me, I'm hearing some different sounds from different appliances, from the heating. You want to tune into that. You want to tune into any sounds, because we're actually practicing our senses, our sense of hearing. What are you hearing? Because as soon as you start to connect with this, you're going to find that you're going to be able to connect. You're going to reach way beyond the space that you're in this moment. Oh, by the way, let's be in this moment and have gratitude for this moment. We have gratitude. Then we're gonna, if you have your third eye activated, you're gonna see, what do you see in your third eye? You're just practicing right now, reminding yourself of your senses, your sense of smell. What are you smelling? Maybe you have a cold and you can't smell. I'm feeling like I'm getting a cold. Any taste? Do you have any taste? Now, this is, might not have very strong senses for any of these, but it's just to remind yourself of your senses. Your heart, tune into your heart. What are you feeling in your heart? What emotion is coming forward? Your sense of touch, right? So we're practicing all those. We're reminding ourselves. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to drop down in. I'm going to go through the steps very quickly. We're going to drop down into our senses, and then I'm going to give you a suggestion. And you're going to pick one of your senses, at least one of your senses. If you're good at this, if you've practiced a bit, maybe you can tune into two at one time, and you're going to receive impressions. An impression might be a thought transference. You might receive someone else's thoughts from another location. This is all knowing. This is all knowing. This is an acceptance. You're accepting all this information. You're taking away any doubt. You're accepting yourself. You're accepting your abilities. Okay? Maybe an impression will come through as a mental picture. You might see something. Maybe you'll see a symbol, a word, numbers, a location. Maybe you'll hear someone's voice. There's many impressions that you might receive. Again, it's going to be personal. There's no way of proving this. This is just, you have to believe. It's a knowing and a belief, okay? Again, this is called extrasensory perception. You might get some kind of telepathic information. All right, so let's do this. Let's see what happens, okay? So we're going to relax, let go of a breath, release any tension in our bodies, let go of any thoughts before this moment, any belief systems, any attachments. And now I'd like you to drop down, surrender, drop down, make physical contact and connection with all of your senses. So you're dropping down, making physical contact. You're having concentration and focus. And now I'd like you to pick one of your clairsenses. Maybe you would like to pick your clairaudience, and you're tuning into what you hear. Maybe you want it to be your heart, your feeling, your sense of feeling. Maybe you want it to be your third eye, your sense of sight, your sense of touch. You choose, okay? Okay, so you choose one right now. I'm going to choose my clairaudience because I'm choosing what seems to work for me. If something's working, keep practicing with that sense. And then you build up one, and then you can go back and learn about another one. So what we're going to do is, and I'm also going to do sense of touch. Okay, so I'd like you to, in this moment, if you're crossing over any body parts, uncross them. Okay, so I'm tuning into my clairaudience and my sense of touch. Okay, so the suggestion I'd like you to take on is your destiny. What is it? And when I say your destiny, someplace that you would like to go, or something that you would like in your future that is very important to you. Maybe it's from your list of 5 humongous goals. So your destiny, something that you've been dreaming about doing. So I'd like you to tune into your destiny with at least one of your clairsenses in this moment, and see if you receive any impressions about your destiny. So just say in your mind the suggestion destiny and see what comes forward. I'm going to be quiet and see what comes through for me. Okay, so what I'm receiving right now is, it's funny because I tried to tune in with my clairaudience, my hearing. I tried to tune in with my touch, and what happened for me is automatically I tuned into my sense of feeling. It took over, and maybe that will happen to you. It takes over. So it took over, and what did I see? I saw myself on the ground with chalk, and I was doing this spiral, and I even think I grabbed a picture that looked like that today, which is kind of crazy if it's here. maybe not. Anyway, it was like this, and it was circling around, and this was and I said suggested destiny. And then I was standing in the middle, where the middle of this, I guess it looks like a flattened vortex. And and everything was changing on me, like the way I looked changed and what I was wearing changed. So I'm guessing for me, that just means in this moment, because I was not that specific about destiny, my destiny is constantly changing. Now, if you received any information, please share what impression you received. And okay, this is practice. This is to remind you of your abilities. You have these abilities within you. You have these clear senses, and you are capable of mastering at least one. And this will help provide you with information about yourself, about your future, about what's going on out here. It can save you from harm. It can, give you some kind of deterrent from anything that you shouldn't be involved in. It's very valuable. James Hadaway, I haven't heard from you in a while. I remember you from last week. Thanks for joining us. James Hadaway from Scotland. Hello. People have different perceptions. What we call reptilians, lizards, energy consumers, I call them programs, and that's the problem. Perception decides our programs, and we need to enforce the individuality. Yes. Thank you, James, for sharing that. I agree with you. I agree that we all have different perceptions. And a reptilian could be a metaphor for, I guess, power hungry, could be a metaphor for someone who dominates, or as I said earlier, service to self. Service to self. Do you have service to self? I highly doubt anyone here joining us today, unless they are a mole among. But you know what will happen if you're here with us and you're not super positive and you're not coming from the light? Guess what? We're going to change you, because we have so much light here on this channel that you will morph into one of us. Okay, next, let's practice something else. And I always am up for any suggestions if there's something you want me to practice with you. And I always go to the ball of light. I don't know if that's what everyone wants. Let me remind you before I'm going to do the ball of light, and then usually I go. Let me remind you some other things you can practice. There is one of these little exercises that you can do. You lay on your bed or your couch, or the floor if you choose. And what you do is you put out your arms and legs. We expect the light, but if we have had bad life choices, we see the reptiles. All right, so you want to put out your arms and your legs. And then what you want to do is one by one, you want to lift it up, and then just take away any kind of control that you have in your ligaments. So you want to lift your arms and legs up first. You want to lift up your legs, drop them down. So you're laying down, you're doing this, and you're just letting go of any kind of control that you have in your arms and legs. And then you're going to put all of your focus right here from your thigh area, down here, actually below your stomach, and to here. You're going to put all your energy here. You're laying down, drop this down, you put all your focus right here. Really quick, go. Then in front of you, imagine a white screen. Now your eyes are closed. Imagine a white screen like at a movie theater, and look right at the screen and see what information you receive. Maybe you're going to receive, who knows? For me, when I've done it, I remember the first time I ever did it, I saw World War II. Then I saw the Civil War. And I think it was a premonition, because now we're in the spiritual war, World War III. So let's see. Yes, James, everything we see is an overlay of reality illusion. What you see is based on your beliefs, usually programmed into us. Okay, so find that interesting. The lens we look through defines our reality. Because when I've had light codes, I've received light codes, I've actually seen reptilians. I've seen all different kinds of extraterrestrials. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And at first I thought, what is this? Is this a dream? Is this real? But I was awake when it was happening. My eyes were closed and I was awake. So it's a little strange. So they are out there. I believe reptilians are out there. I believe. Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so that's one, that exercise I just mentioned, where you let go of all this tension and stress and you drop down and you put all your focus in this part of your body. You focus there and then you imagine a screen in front of you, and what do you see on the screen? Okay. Again, we can always practice telepathy with a friend or someone that you feel comfortable sharing that you're into this and you're trying this, your clear senses, and you can do mind to mind, and you can say, okay, tell me a story in your mind. Tell me a story in your mind and say my name over and over again. That's what you do. And they want to send you the information. It's thought transference. It's mind to mind. Now, what do you receive? Is there something that you're receiving from them in your mind? It's just as simple as, do you ever think of someone and then they send you an email, or if they call you because they heard you? It's the same thing, because all of our thoughts carry a charged impulse. They carry feelings and emotions, and that's how you receive the information. Okay, so we're going to go soon. So let's do the ball of light. I know you're late, Raymond, but thanks for joining us. And you can watch the recap because it's going to be up there. Michael K., it only happens to me when I'm not trying. Well, you know what? When I'm not trying and I'm trying to get a good night's sleep, it happens all night long, like Saturday night, all night long. That's all I did was receive impressions. And I'm so tired. I'm not writing them down. I'm not getting up to write down the impression, but I'm hearing all kinds of conversations, and I'm seeing all kinds of, I see all kinds of things. Do you ever see this? Do you ever see light beings of light? That's what's in the fifth dimension, beings of light. Sounds like a fun Saturday. It is a fun Saturday. All right, let's do ball of light. And I'll be back again tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. And then Wednesday, I'm going to do 11 a.m. And then Thursday and Friday, 7, because of my job in the Matrix. The pic is from a movie I worked on. Really? What movie did you work on, music? So you're in the movie biz in Canada, BC. Knowing with Nick Cage. Wow. Very cool. Okay, so we're rubbing our hands together and we're taking it away from our body, and we should have a vibration. We should feel a vibration, and then maybe you choose to cup your hands like you're holding a ball of light. Now, this is energy that we're creating. We're bringing it onto the earth. And so you should have vibration on your palms, and this takes concentration and focus. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video so others can find us. So here we have the ball of light, and, we go through the same steps, which is we relax our body, we let go of any thoughts, and we are accepting whatever happens. We're going to tune into one of our clear senses. And I'm going to give this suggestion that, it's funny knowing, and I just annoying. And I'm going to give this suggestion as we drop down into our senses, we make physical contact. I'm going to give this suggestion that we're holding the ball of light, and maybe you're looking in your third eye. That's why my eyes are open. And you're holding the ball of light, and I'd like you to imagine that you are in your most favorite location on the globe, and you're holding the ball of light, and you're there. So maybe it's someplace that you'd like to go to. Maybe it's someplace that you've already been to. I'd like you to imagine to be in your favorite location on the earth. So let me see. And then you're going to tune into your senses and see what impressions you receive. So I'm receiving the waves because I'm at a beach. And I actually hear someone in a boat calling out to me. It's not a big boat. It just looks like a small boat with oars. And they're waving for me to come to the boat. So I'm doing this through my clairaudience today. So this person asks me to come onto the boat, and I ask, "What are you doing?" And they're fishing. And so now we're going to out into the water, farther out into the water to go fish. So that's what happened to me. Anybody receive anything? I was thinking of a beach too. Welcome to my mind. There you go. Knowing looked closer to being a supernova than a micronova flash. LOL. All right. Well, what did you guys get? What did you guys get? You got a beach? Music got a beach? Oh, we're all together in the same location. Maybe we're going to all meet up one day on the beach. All right, everyone. I love you all. I'm wishing good things for you. And I'll be back again tomorrow evening. And again, today was about reptilians. Leaders are actors. Memories return. Plugged into the matrix. Plugged into the light. Oh, before we go, I just want to mention angels. Angels are beings of light, and they're immortal, and they are non-gender, and they're here to protect and guide us, and they're messengers. And these two angels are saving this woman. They're here to protect us. And maybe if you've had a near-death experience, you might have been greeted by angels, and they serve as basically a go-between from the heavens to earth, and they come down, they ascend and descend on a staircase. And I sense that I'm right here in the middle of an angel portal. I've said that before. And many angels are here on the earth right now, tens of thousands upon millions, because they are guiding us. And maybe you hear somebody whisper in your ear, you feel a brush across your face or a tingling on the top of your head. Maybe you follow numbers, and there's 1111 is angel numbers. Maybe you see a little feather. You say, "Oh, a little white feather, an angel was here." Or maybe you sense their presence. You can call out to angels to protect you. Oh, thank you, music. Archon, Sumerians, esoteric. Yes. And so let's all remind ourselves before we go to sleep to go to a place of love in our heart and in our minds and our spirit. And then there'll be no psychic attacks. And pretty soon there'll be no negativity on the earth. It'll be wiped away. Wiped away. And the reason why I say go to love in your heart and in your being, because we don't want anything coming into us, into our mind while we're sleeping, in the astral realm. And you might sense right now, currently in the last few days, weeks, you're having some very, very interesting, epic dreams. I am. Lots of big open spaces, lots of characters I've never seen, people I've never seen, a lot of compartments and buildings, and just, I don't know, everything from airports to train stations to hotels, just a lot of people. And that means I'm in the astral realm. You might wake up and feel as though you didn't sleep because you're battling through the astral realm. I'm sending you good wishes, and I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish, and I'm imagining white light. So if you're empathic, always consider placing white light around you to protect you from negativity and from any kind of energy that's harming you. I was fast asleep when I worked on that movie over 10 years ago. I need to see it again. I'm going to look for it. So you're in the middle of it, and we're spinning light clockwise and counterclockwise, and it's shedding any negativity around you, and I'm sending it to you. So be well, and I'll be back again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bye!